Welcome to CCNA Cyber Ops certification session. We are going to talk about malware. Malwares come in many forms. Here are three common forms of which you should be aware: viruses, worms, and Trojan horses. A virus is a piece of computer code that can replicate itself using the aid of a human who is unaware of the virus. Viruses got attention in the 1980s when personal computer made heavy use of floppy disk for storage. The viruses infected the boot sector of the floppy disk. If the computer was booted with an infected floppy disk, the virus would be loaded into RAM and then would be propagated to the boot sector of all other floppy disks that were inserted into the infected system's disk drive. Similar thing can be done today using USB memory key, but more commonly, viruses are now attached to data files. An example would be a malicious macro embedded into a document file or a Word file. Office software often disable macros or imported document as a precaution against this type of virus. A worm is similar to a virus, but worms have the ability to propagate across the network without the aid of human actions. Did you notice? Here we need in virus we need human aid to propagate, but worm can propagate without the aid of human actions. They generally exploit vulnerabilities that are common on connected computer systems. They scan for vulnerable systems, exploit the vulnerabilities and establish themselves on those systems. And then they continue to scan and propagate from there. The first recognized worm was released on the internet in 1988. It was named after its author, a graduate student at Cornell University. It's a good example of how clever and creative attacker can be. Remember, this was the first worm, so what are some of the novel idea that its creator used? While it was developed at Cornell University, it was released from MIT. This was used to disguise the worm's point of origin. It wasn't limited to a single exploit mechanism, but instead it utilized three vulnerabilities found in SendMail, Finger, and RHX/Rex suite. It also utilized resources on the compromised system. For example, it transferred source code that was compiled by compromised system's own C compiler to ensure the executable code was compatible with the remote computing architecture. Finally, it used the word files on Unix system, a dictionary attack against weak password. Worms were very visible from 1999 to 2004. At that time, there were myriad of vulnerabilities available for exploitation, and the attacker had a heyday. They were so prevalent that they made the news. You didn't have to be a security geek to know the names assigned to many of these worms. Examples include Melissa, I love you, Anna Kornikova, Code Red, Nimda, SQL Slammer, My Doom, and Caesar. Detail of any of these worms can be found with a simple internet googling or internet search. In general, these worms were all about wreaking havoc, but times have changed. Worms are more advanced and more stealthy ever than ever, and their authors have intent. Here are two examples. First, the configure worm. This was identified in 2008. Its victim were conscripted into a botnet, which grew to literally millions of systems in size. Second, the Stuxnet worms. It was identified in 2010. The authors to Stuxnet were never officially identified, but it is widely speculated that only a nation state would have the resources to produce such a sophisticated worm. It was designed to attack industrial programmable logic controller. Reportedly, it was targeted at Iran's nuclear program and was successful in destroying approximately one-fifth of the country's nuclear centrifuges. The advanced Nature of Stuxnet worm is a good lead to concept of advanced persistent threats, or APTs. Or APTs are how cybercrimes plays in the game of espionage, whether it's industrial espionage or espionage against nation states. APTs are what they sounds like. They are threats that are advanced and persistent. Advanced implies the resources that are available are state of the art and not in short supply. They are organized using the latest technology and methodologies and have extensive computing power, manpower, and the network power available to them. Persistent means that they get themselves entrenched and they remain undetected for extended period of time. APTs have a goal and they will keep at it until they achieve the goal. They don't cash in on short time gain, but instead focus on long-term objective. Let's go back to the original list and discuss the third malware example, the Trojan horse. This malware is analogous to the Trojan horse in the famous tale from the Trojan War. Beware of Greek bearing gifts is a famous quote from one translation of Virgil's Aeneid. From the malware perspective, the quote should be reworded as beware of gift-bearing gifts. A Trojan horse is an application in which the author has included functionality which is kept secret from the user. The functionality is of a type that the user will not accept if they were aware of the functionality. Most commonly, the functionality provides backdoor access to the system on which the application is installed, but any other functionality may be inserted. Examples include keystroke logging, data corruption, and the use of computational resources for such things as Bitcoin mining. Thank you so much. See you next time.